as my phone ran out of storage space. So, all I know, Joe, is I wanted an apology from you. I wanted an apology from Grindall. You guys are like so self-righteous. You're not even gonna do that. Of course, if you had the family lineage and the upbringing, you would know not to do what you did, right? Of course, we're still talking. But what I want to know is if you're going to give up. Because I think you are going to give up. I think you are, Joe. One day, sooner or later, you're going to throw your hands up and say, I had enough with this. And then you're going to go into the bathroom. And we all know what you do in the bathroom. Of course, no one's holding me hostage. Of course, there was some talk, some scuttlebutt about people saying that I was a meme, that I don't even exist. Maybe it's because I do the videos like this. Maybe. All I know is, Joe, you're not a good person. You think you are, but you're not. But trust me, there are wolves in sheep's clothing, yes. The wolves graze on the pastures as well as the Christian sheep graze on the pasture. But that's besides the point now. All I know, Joe, is one day you're going to give up, you're going to throw your hands up, and that'll be the end of you. I won't know anything about it because I'll be gone by then. If I had to guess, this is going to happen probably within the next year, maybe the next few months of this year into next year. I'm not exactly sure, but it could. That little incident that makes you give up. Of course, you've been trying to take this down for a long time, Joe. Of course, it's not easy being a leader and not having many supporters. It's not easy, right? Because in time, I will be doing these openly in the public. What I mean is I'm going to do videos of me talking while showing my face. That's what I mean. Because you're not responsible with guns, Joe. You're not. My dad is more responsible with guns than you are, right? You're not responsible. You wouldn't make that up, so it's perfectly normal to make that comment, saying I'm packing heat, but if you were responsible enough, you wouldn't have these problems, yes? Same problems I have. Because I had a friend once that worked at one of the casinos here, and he said, when I was doing guard duty for the money being brought down to the basement or whatever, he was armed. He was an armed guard. And he just told me he had a feeling of just taking that gun out and shooting up everyone. It's the urge that do it. But oh no, Joe. You're going to go out of your way to say the Orville Dam was going to happen. As far as I know, it could have happened. And then you took credit for something that I knew. Of course, I'm not taking credit for it. I want you to know that. Predator drones are everywhere, Joe. They're all over the place. You could easily deploy one. All they have to do is fill it up with JP fuel, or whatever fuel they use, and then arm it. But they didn't have that capability back in the mid-90s, remember? That's how long we've had the Predator drone. We've had it since the mid-90s, right? Because military technology is 30 years ahead of the public sector, and 30 years ahead of our enemies, yes? You probably don't even know that. And that other guy that was claiming to be wasn't military. I know he wasn't. Because if he came back with honor, or regardless if he had honor or not, he wouldn't have talked about his buddies like that. That's why I respect Richie from Boston. I respect him so much because he knows better than to bash his own people. You don't do that. I mean, it's okay to talk shit to them and all that, but don't bash them. We just don't do that, Joe. Yes? You want to blame the government for a vaccine that they gave to your father? Well, you know what? Those vaccines were experimental back then. A lot of them were. A lot of things are still experimental. I remember in World War II, paratrooping was experimental because they didn't know if it was going to work or not. But they got paid $50 more than the average Army grunt. Right? At least that's what I heard from a documentary. Of course, I just want to keep my feet on the ground. I couldn't fly and jump out of an airplane like that. That takes a very special breed of troopers. It's not something I could do. Of course, why would you want to jump out of a perfectly good airplane? It doesn't make sense, right? Of course, they made an idea off of it. I think the Germans used it before we did. I'm not sure, though. Of course, you remember, Joe, all these comments you made and then going back on the comments, right? You don't have a track record because you keep changing what you believe in, right? And now you're taking advantage of this coronavirus thing. All I'm saying, Joe, is if you really want to take advantage and you really want to overthrow the current government and you really want to do this and that, then choose people that are good at what they do. Yes? I'm just saying, if you want to do that, Joe, by all means do it. And then the FBI will show up at your doorstep, place you under arrest, and take you to Guantanamo Bay. Or Gitmo. Or even to, what's that prison called? I forget the name of that prison. But it's a prison for war criminals. And we can go on and on and on about this, Joe. The one thing I want to understand is why you're doing this at such an old age, right? I don't know how old you are, but if I had to guess, you're in your 50s or your 60s. And everything you claim without any proof, at least I tried to provide proof for that. I may have not have handled it properly, but I did supply proof of what I did. That accommodation was my award, the only proof I had that I actually did that. Right? You're not the hero type, Joe. You're not. Because you wish you were, but you're not. Of course, we're just talking. And all excuse me. All you have to do is apologize. That's all you have to do. Even if you don't mean it, just apologize. Apologize to the military, apologize to me, apologize for lying about your name. Because that alone tells everyone that you're dishonest. Yes? Of course, Joe. You can say all these things and be mean to everyone. I'm not mean to everyone. I was in the past, but I'm not doing that anymore. Of course, I'm much better now. Yes? Of course, Joe, I know where you live. You may think you know everyone, and everyone that has ever been naughty or nice. Keep a list of it. By all means, do it. By all means, leak that information, and there'll be one person out of all those people that you shouldn't have done it to. And that's also another thing. Think very carefully, Joe. Think very carefully. Do you really want to do it? Because shortly after you're going to do it, you're going to be arrested. As far as I know. I'm just a soldier following orders. And good soldiers obey orders at all costs. Even perfect soldiers obey orders at all costs. Yes? But you probably don't know that because even the military doesn't even know that. Probably one person actually respected me for that comment. Of course, Joe, you could always just go about your day and stop talking about this stuff, right? Stop bashing our first responders. Stop bashing our military. Stop bashing our police. Because all of them, actually, the military, they prefer military people over civilians that have no training. Of course, the reason why I'm being critical of you, Joe, is because for some reason I have this feeling that it's either my mission to bring you down or it's what I need to do. And you might ask why I need to take you down. There's a reason for it, Joe. Because I don't like it when people are being dishonest and then bashing our military. I don't tolerate such things. You bash our military, well, guess what happens to you? You get shipped off somewhere, never to be seen again. Because if I had my way, unpatriotic actions wouldn't be tolerated in America. They wouldn't be. Yes? Of course, you're a Jefferson man, aren't you? The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time by the blood of patriots and tyrants. Remember that quote. That's a Jefferson quote. As far as I know, it was Jefferson that said that. He also said that banks are worse than standing armies to our country. I may have not the quote. I haven't gotten it right, but that's probably what he said. Of course, I'm not afraid of you, Joe. You think you have me, but you don't. You don't have me. You don't have this. You don't even have your nice house. You have a nice house, Joe. I mean, I walk everywhere. I be civil with everyone now. And you just want to beat it into people. You want these people to do things for you. Why don't you do it yourself? I'm pretty sure you could go to these schools and these facilities and all and take as many pictures as you can. The one thing that's going to happen to you shortly after you take pictures of the schools, you're going to get arrested. No one's allowed to even go on a school publicly unless you have business to be there, right? Isn't there police at the schools in Fullerton? I bet you there are if they're like Nevada. You think those police are just going to sit there while you're taking pictures of people, right? Of course, you can stop beating this into people and just go about your day and be satisfied with what you have, right? Because a soldier just does what he's ordered to do, yes? Sometimes they have to question it, but yes, they just do what they're ordered to do. Going on 13 minutes now, guys. Because I love talking to you guys, but there's going to come a day when I'm going to be gone. And I'm no longer going to be here. Even I have to go home eventually. Of course, Joe, you could always just walk away. The reason why I'm going after you is one thing that person actually inspired me to, and he also inspired something else. That you're so phony. You're so phony and you're so fake. You don't know as much as you claim to because you're getting this information from somewhere. And for all I know, it's your handlers that are giving you this information. Right? Because that's why they have the nice house and the nice car. All these things, right? I ride a mountain bike because I can't afford a car. And nor do I have a license to drive. Right? But people want to make assumptions. You know what they say about that, right? And what that comment really means, that comment I just made, I chose to remember why everyone chose to forget. Do you even know the gravity of that kind of comment? It means every one of you, even the people in my town, are going to forget about me. That's one thing that's going to happen. And what I mean by choosing to remember is I will remember what I used to be. Because I don't know if you know this, Joe, but I'm not like I used to be. I'm no longer afraid. Not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of anyone. Right? And you know who you are. I don't understand why you don't come and visit me and have a civilized conversation with me. That's all I want. That's all I'm going to say about it. Of course, Joe, if you've seen what I've seen, it would terrify you. It would. It would terrify you. Of course, I got this laptop for $100. That's how much it was. $100 plus tax. And it works just fine. It's having a little issues right now because I've kept it on for so long. Oh, there's the ice cream man. I didn't know they still did that. Of course, there's hardly any food anywhere. Everyone's buying everything up. Buying all the canned food and buying everything else. The one thing I'm not buying much of is drinks. Yeah, it's like coffee, soda, Monsters, and Red Bull. They're not swooping for that. I mean, they're not rushing to get that stuff. Of course, Joe, you can always apologize and stop being an ignoramus. Right? You are. Because you think YouTube is meant for this type of thing. It's okay to do public speaking on YouTube, but the way you do it, Joe, I don't know. Of course, I just wonder how an insurance salesman can actually make so much money. I don't make a lot of money. I haven't made any money off of YouTube or anything, right? I don't even do my artwork anymore. I'm taking a break from that. Of course, you could just apologize, Joe, and get it over with. Sometimes you have to bite the bullet, right? And let them win. Well, one of these days you're gonna have to take a bullet. And when you feel that pain, that'll tell you you're alive, right? It's the pain that tells you you're alive.